talking to you about site planning, what you need to do and how to do it. Hey there, strong people.
Hey, welcome back to our channel. I'm Carrie, and this is my other half, Doug. We are building a sustainable homestead from the ground up in southeast Arizona. And today we're actually kind of going off track a tiny bit because of stuff that we have going on. So we're going to be redoing our site plan, and we think we wanted to share it with you guys because we know a lot of you are building the way we are, and we think it might be helpful for you to see what works to submit as a site plan to the county for your permits.
And that'd be Cochise County, right?
Yes, Cochise County.
Here in southeast Arizona.
Yes, here in southeast Arizona. Now, disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only, okay? We get a lot of comments about how we say things wrong, and we get a lot of comments about how we say things right. So we are always aiming to only give you guys good information, but we really request, easy for me to say, that you do your own research, okay? We are not experts, and we're putting that out there.
And we're definitely not paid by the county.
No, and so this is just information that we want to share with you that we think that you might find helpful, okay?
Right.
All right, you guys, this is our original site plan that we submitted a couple years ago to the county, and we are making some changes on the property that require a permit. So whenever you do that, whenever you submit something that isn't on this original plan, you need to submit an updated site plan, and that's what Doug and I are going to be working on today, mainly Doug because he's the artist in the family. So if I drew it, you wouldn't even be able to read it. So I just wanted to show you this. This is basically our property. So our property is kind of a kite shape, and you can kind of see what's on here. Basically, this is where the home build site is, and then you'll see various other things. So we're going to go ahead and get this updated with the addition that we're getting ready to have delivered here soon, and get this resubmitted to the county. And we're going to show you what it looks like just to draw one out. You don't need to hire somebody to do this. You can do this yourself. If you can write neatly like Doug does, and you kind of understand the concept of what they're looking for, it does not have to be super complicated, okay? It just needs to be clear, and there's certain specific things that they are looking for, specifically distances from structures to property lines. Because when you're dealing with the county, everybody knows any county that you're in has specific setbacks for things. What the setback is just the distance that you have between a structure that you're building and your property line. Okay, so you always want to make sure you know what those setbacks are. We have additional setbacks in our neighborhood because our neighborhood also has their own set of setbacks, and they are bigger than what the county requires. So just as an example, the county may require 25 or 30 feet, but our neighborhood actually probably requires more like 100 feet. So you have to keep that in mind when you're designing your site. Okay, so let's get on with it.
It doesn't have to be a scale either. It's basically, this is like the stick figure drawing to what an engineer would do. Or a draftsman. I used to be a draftsman, but
So you can see right here on our original site plan, it says home with roof mounted solar panels. We've actually gone ahead and decided to change that to a ground mount. And the reason we did that is because we've been in our RV now for 3 years on our property, and we're realizing we're probably going to be in it another 3 years. So to make life more comfortable, we really needed to have a solar ground mount solar panel set up outside of our RV, and then we can use it for the house when we eventually move into the house. So one of the permits that we're redoing the site plan for is for a ground mounted solar panel array. And that is going to go behind the trailer, and then it will be moved up by the house build site once the house is finished. And the cost on that permit currently today, which is April 23rd, 2025, the cost on this solar array is for the permit is going to be $147. Okay, so keep that in mind. Permits cost money, unfortunately. And then the other permit that we're getting is we bought a 40-foot shipping container to use as storage, and we are really needing a space that we can work in, kind of like a workshop, as we get really going on our house build. And we right now are using our chicken coop tower that we built to store all of our personal belongings. So what we've decided to do is go ahead and move all of our belongings into a shipping container where they're going to be nice and safe and secure. And then we're going to use the chicken coop as our kind of workshop area, because it's nicely ventilated. It's got a door on it that locks so that we can keep our tools in there and keep everything organized. We're really realizing not having a place to keep things is not good out here, because between the wind, the sun, the temperature fluctuations, it's hard to keep things nice if they're just outside. Okay, it's really important to keep your stuff covered up, and we just haven't really been able to afford to do that up until this point. So this is a really big deal. Like, it's a really big deal for us. So right now in the process, Doug is drawing the is that the solar panel or is that the RV?
RV.
Okay, that's where our RV is currently parked, where we've been living. And then he's going to be marking in where the solar panel, ground mount solar panel array is going to go.
So here will be the ground. And I believe they're going to want the setbacks on this too.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, is just fitting the setbacks in.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this solar array.
A-R-R-A-Y. I'm the speller, Doug's the artist.
Okay. And then the trailer.
So the other part that I just mentioned was we're getting a 40-foot shipping container delivered, and that's going to go up here. So we wanted it close to our build site, but we also kind of wanted it tucked over to the side because we want to be able to access it pretty easily. And then we have to move everything from the chicken coop.
So that is called a
shipping container. So the chicken coop right now is about right here. So we're gonna have to move everything from the chicken coop into the shipping container.
1P or 2Ps?
2Ps. So that's where the shipping container is going to go. So when the guy brings it to drop it off, he's going to come down our driveway in theory, and then he's going to have plenty of room to back it up right here. That little circle he's drawing in is our existing chicken coop tower.
think we were told not to put that in there.
Yeah, because it's not, it's a chicken coop. It's not permitted because it's under 200 square feet and it doesn't have any utilities. But we just like to include it for completion. We've got a culvert right here that we had to have installed because there's a little wash right there that washes out really deep. So we've got a culvert there that he's labeling on the site plan. If you plan on fencing in animals like we've done, you'll want to make sure and include that on your site plan. It doesn't require a permit to have animal containment, but you still want to show them where it is and where you plan it to be. So that's what Doug is doing right now. He's drawing in our existing paddock, which is where we have our goats and our chickens and our turkeys and our Great Pyrenees.
And we also got another paddock here that was going to be for...
And by the way, you guys, this is not to scale.
No.
And it doesn't need to be to scale. They don't expect that. You just do your best effort. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, but you want to put in your paddocks anyways, so that way Mr. Permit guy doesn't come by and say, what is that big enclosure over there?
Right, so Doug is drawing in the area where we plan to put a second paddock eventually.
Maybe sheep.
A bigger paddock, yeah, and this will probably be we'll probably raise sheep in here at some point.
Okay. My helicopter pad. If we ever come billionaires one day.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to include this type and size of fencing too in your paddocks.
So he's putting the directional labels in north, south, east, west for their reference. That's the southern side of the property.
And I think that's required.
Yeah. So right here, Doug is drawing in the setbacks. That first one there from the paddock. See, this is definitely not to scale, but it's fine. But it's 200 feet from the very back of our paddock to our property line. So that's just, they're really looking at that. That's really important. And for people that are in our neighborhood that are interested about where our things are located, they can also take a look at our site plan and see to make sure that we're not in the setbacks. I know that was a concern for some people. So from our home build site to our very back property line there, it's 370 something feet.
Oh, you also got to put in your septic too.
Oh, yeah.
So I imagine we need to put in our toilet thing too.
Oh yeah, which is basically up here, isn't it? So we already have our permits for our 3-barrel compost toilet system, which is right here, and then he's getting ready to draw in the permitted septic. So this is a permit that we already are done and it's already closed. So this part of the septic system is our black water for our kitchen sink. So when you in Cochise County, your kitchen sink water is considered black water. So you can discharge your gray water, which is your bathroom sink water, your shower water, you know, like if you have a utility sink water, that would all be considered gray water, and that can actually be discharged out into your property. Most people will run a line and fill like an area that they have trees growing or a garden. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with that gray water, as long as you're using the right kind of soaps that are biodegradable and earth friendly. So we had to set up a whole separate septic just for our kitchen sink water. So we've got one really big wash down in the corner of our property. This is the one that gives us trouble getting up to our driveway during monsoons. But if you've got a major wash on your property, it's a good idea to label it and then show the setbacks, because having the setbacks to the wash is something that they do look at. So it's 400 feet, but it's probably even more than that. It's all uphill.
I'd say it's more.
Yeah, it probably is more. But we're just, again, it's not to scale, and we're being conservative with our numbers. Alright, so that's the completed site plan that we're going to go ahead and turn into the county so that we can get these 2 permits done. And Doug did a really nice job. So you just want to make sure and label everything clearly. It really helps to use this graph paper when you're doing this, just to keep your lines straight, although Doug is really good at that anyway, but it's helpful. Alright, so very nicely done, and we're going to go ahead and get this permit done. Alright, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. We hope you found this video helpful, and if nothing else, maybe it gave you some ideas on how you can draw your site plan. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments, but remember, this is just for entertainment, and we'll do our best that we can to answer your questions. But we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.